Hey there, drone fans. Rick here again from Drone Valley. So today I want to spend a few minutes talking about the various tablet holder options available for the Mavic Pro. Now, when the Mavic first hit the street, I was blown away by the controller. I just could not get over how small and compact this was. Made it perfect for taking with me for an afternoon of flight. I could throw it in a backpack or my pocket, and really, you almost didn't know you had it with you. The challenge with the small size for me, though, was that because of these arms being limited as far as how far they can go out, there was no easy way to add a tablet to it, and I'm used to flying with a tablet. But honestly, I was so anxious to fly it, just stuck my iPhone 6 Plus in there and went off and flew the thing for a couple of days. But then I started thinking about it. I'm getting a little bit older. My eyes are nowhere near as good as they used to be. I really want to sort of marry up a tablet with the controller to fly. So I spent a little bit of time fiddling around with it, and I've actually done a clip on this. I figured out pretty quickly that if I pull out the cable on the side and remove it and take the bushing out of this end, that it gave me just enough room to squeeze an iPad Mini 4 in there. And then I could connect up a cable, a short cable from the connector on the iPad to the USB on the bottom of the controller, and I'm off and flying. And this gave me a really good solution because it sort of feels like one unit. It's got really good balance. It's not heavy in any direction. Gave me visibility of both screens. So I was pretty much set at that point. I could watch my screens. I could keep visual line of sight on the quad, and everything was good to go. So that worked out okay for me. But the challenge is, not everybody owns an iPad Mini 4. So I got a lot of questions on the channel from people asking, hey, I've got this brand of tablet, this size of tablet, what fits in the controller? And I found that it was extremely limited as far as what tablet could be used with it. So I went out and started doing a bunch of investigations on tablet holders. Now, before I recommend anything, I always like to buy pretty much everything I can get my hands on, bring them in and test them for a few weeks. I don't like to just pick up a product and say, hey, this is pretty good, you ought to try it. So I bought a bunch of them. These are the ones that I ended up with. Now, I found that all the tablet holders I looked at fell into one of three categories, and I'm going to term those long, short, and external. And I'll explain what those terms mean in a minute. But one of the problems I found with a lot of the controller, I should say the tablet adapters that fit the controller, were that they were either top heavy or they blocked the screen. So they did hold the tablet, but you were forced to look at the tablet and not actually see the screen on the controller. So I immediately discounted those once I started playing with them. These give you enough of adjustment where it's not burdensome as far as the weight control. It's also not blocking the screen. So those were two important criteria I looked at before I chose any of these to view. And again, I ordered a bunch in. I immediately discarded a bunch of them because they didn't work. So let me go through them. So the first one I'll talk about is the short one. Now what I mean by short is that the actual controller, it mounts in the bottom just like a phone would, so it pops in there just like your phone. What I mean by short is the distance between the actual tablet and the controller. Now, the reason that's important is because if I mount, let me just use the NVIDIA here. If I mount a tablet in there, I've got to have some support for it because the weight of this is too much for really any of these things to hold on directly. So you have to support it somewhere. The short ones you're supporting on your wrists. And this gives you plenty of visibility for both screens. You can see it. It's low enough where you can see it, but you support it on your wrist. So when you're flying with a tablet like this, and this will support a big tablet, you've got the support on your wrist in addition to holding the controller. And this one works pretty well for smaller tablets and maybe larger phones that wouldn't fit in there directly, or if you've got a phone with a case on it and you can't get it in the arms. So I like this one an awful lot. I've used it a bunch. This is kind of my go-to one if I'm going with a larger tablet. Now the big difference between this and the long one is that the long one has a longer arm. So when you put this guy in, you can see how much longer that is. It's way further away from the controller. Now the reason that's different and important is because, and this is spring-loaded, is because this one really supports against your chest. So, or your belly, in my case, probably the belly. But if you're flying with this one, you're still looking over the screen to see that second screen. I've got plenty of visibility here. I can even adjust it down further if I want, but the weight support is against your body. So this one's perfect if we're using a really large tablet because those tend to be very heavy, like an iPad Air or something like that. None of them I found you could hold like this and sort of look at. You've got to have some support. So the short one is against the wrists, tight in. This one's against the chest or the belly. And again, this one works really well for large tablets. Now both of these have, I'll show you the large tablet in there. Both of these have a lot of adjustments that you can make to them to sort of adjust it to the exact angle you want to view. That's a larger tablet in there. And you can see again with the weight of this one, it's up against my chest. It's almost, I can hold it with 2 fingers because I'm sort of pivoting between my hands and my chest. And this one works really well. So if you've got a large tablet, probably the one you want to go with. The third option, which is for larger tablets, is an external one. And I've talked about this guy before, but basically what this does is allow you to take any tablet you've got, set it up in that holder. It's external, so you've got to sort of mount that on a flat surface someplace near where you're flying. You can connect up a cable. We have this universal cable that works for Android and for iPhone. It's on the website, but you can use any cable there, but you're basically connecting it up to the controller And again, you're making that connection to the bottom of the controller here, and you're looking at the screen while you're flying. But this allows you to use a really large tablet. So that's pretty cool for bigger tablets or tablets that have a large case on them. It allows you to sort of watch it and fly from there. It's not actually on the controller, but that option's good for me as well, because when I have that in my kit, it's small and compact. You can see that barely thin, really small, throw it right in your case with you. I also like this one because if I'm out in the field and I want to review some footage, it allows me to put my tablet on it, have it sit there. I don't have to worry about having a case, or if the case got a stand on it, that becomes my stand. So the three options, again, that I really recommend are the short one, if you've got smaller tablets and you want to do it with balancing on the wrists, the longer one, which is great for big tablets, and you balance it up against your chest, or the external stand. You may want to try one of each. You may try along with the stand when you decide to do editing and things like that. So anyway, that's all I had for today. I have links below where you can check these out. Their specifications. You can support the channel by buying them from our website. You can find these all over the internet, like I always say, so don't feel like you have to buy them from me. But for my money, these were the three best that I found. And again, I did review, before I made this recommendation, I think about 15 different tablet holders, and they were either ones that were produced by third-party accessory companies, or maybe even some of the 3D printable ones that I had printed up and brought in. And these are the ones that I really, really like. So anyway, that's all I have for today. If you had any questions at all, as always, please drop them in the comments below. Thumbs up are always good for us. Subscribers are growing day by day, which is a wonderful thing. I'll have a ton more of these clips coming out. So again, thanks an awful lot for watching. I hope you find these clips helpful, and happy flying.